Hello! So today I am going to rank the original Pokemon. To put a bit of a spin on it, I'm going to primarily focus on what kind of guy each Pokemon is. I'm going to do this more or less off the cuff, just whatever each Pokemon makes me think of. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge Pokemon person in general. I played the OG Game Boy games and dipped my toes into some of the later stuff, but I mostly just like looking at them. I think they're cool. Okay, here we go. So number 1 is Bulbasaur. I am very fond of Bulbasaur. I know sometimes he has a really cute face on, but he's also like really grouchy a lot of the time. He reminds me of like Peter Lorre. Like he runs an illegal gambling ring out of his basement, which fucking slaps. So I'm giving that an A. Number 2 is Ivysaur. Ivysaur is a lesbian. Ivysaur is a volleyball lesbian with like a mean spike. S tier for sure. Number 3, Venusaur. Venusaur is the old church lady who like leads her parish in song and has way too much vibrato in her voice. I guess I kind of like Venusaur. C. No, B. Let's give her a B. She's a good girl. Number 4 is Charmander. Charmander is Patrick Stewart. He's Jean-Luc Picard. He's the captain of the USS Enterprise. S tier for sure. Number 5. Charmeleon. I don't know if you had this in high school, but like the boys swim team, and they would like shave their heads and like all of the hair off their body when they would like have a big swim meet. And those guys fucking sucked. I'm gonna give Charmeleon a D. Number 6, Charizard. Charizard is obviously a dragon, but he always looks like really haughty. Charizard probably runs a really high tier fashion magazine, thinks that everybody who doesn't dress in Chanel is a pleb. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Gonna give him an A. Number 7, Squirtle. Squirtle is a motherfucker. I know people think he's cute. I don't know, he's like that like little guy in high school who's shorter than the other guys. He lifts a lot of weights, but like always skips leg days, so like he's bigger on top than the bottom. But then he's like mean to all the other people because he skipped leg day. Number 8, Wartortle. Wartortle is also a lesbian, like a softball lesbian though. Probably the pitcher. Number 9, Blastoise. Blastoise is James Gandolfini. He is Tony Soprano. He runs the mob in New Jersey. Actually, the ending of The Sopranos, spoiler alert, I guess. People don't really know what happened because of the cut to black. That's actually when he evolved into Blastoise. Bit of background on the show for you. Good trivia. I went to film school, so I know this. A. Number 10, Caterpie. I love Caterpie. Part of the reason why I love Caterpie is because Caterpie makes his own kombucha and gives his friends the, what do they call it, like the mother, so that they can make their own kombucha. A crunchy granola badass. Caterpie S tier, 100%. Number 11, Metapod. Metapod sits in the back of the classroom and like doesn't say a lot, but then he knows all of the presidents in order and gets really good grades on all the tests, and then later becomes a partner in a law firm. Kind of a nerd, but like not the cool one. Not the cool kind. C, I think, yeah. Number 12, Butterfree. Butterfree has always been one of my favorite Pokemon. One of the saddest episodes of the Pokemon show was when Ash traded his Butterfree away and then regretted it. Oh my god, I cried so much when I saw it as a kid. Butterfree, I think, works at a Kinko's. I don't know why. I just feel that this is correct. Maybe gives you some discounts when you need to like print out a full bleed picture or something. So on that basis, I'm gonna give Butterfree an A. Number 13, Weedle. Weedle obviously is in a punk band. Always wears like Liberty spikes to school, and then later in life becomes the owner of a local grocery store franchise. B tier. Number 14, Kakuna. I don't know if it's true in all the pictures, but it looks like Kakuna is wearing a tie in the picture that I'm looking at. Just like a little tie made out of his own flesh. So I think that he's probably like a stockbroker who would, bet on the housing market failing. And on that basis, like, as low as possible. Maybe even E tier, if that's a thing. Is that a thing? Oh wow, you can go really low on these tier rankings. I probably should have looked this up before I started. F tier, for sure. Number 15, Beedrill. I hate bugs. That doesn't matter in this context because Beedrill goes to raves, has a pacifier in his mouth because that's a thing you do because of drugs. Total party animal. Maybe not my favorite kind of party animal though. So let's give Beedrill like a B tier. Number 16, Pidgey. Pidgey is a tenor who takes opera very seriously and is like pretty good at it, but only knows Pavarotti songs. B tier. Pidgeotto, number 17. Pidgeotto is in West Side Story, definitely one of the characters that was cut from the original play. If it had existed in that form, Pidgeotto would have killed everyone by the end of the play and sung a song about how his claws were stained with the blood of the West Side. D. No thanks. Number 18, Pidgeot. Pidgeot is Peter Frampton, specifically live Peter Frampton. In his prime, he wants you to show him the way. A. Honestly, Peter Frampton kind of rules. Number 19, Rattata. 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 Rattata is a referee at his child's soccer game. All the other parents don't take him seriously because they think that he's biased toward his own kid, and he is. C tier. Number 20, Raticate. Raticate is the coach of the team. Takes it way too seriously, makes the kids do laps whenever they say a bad word or disobey him in any way. Total jerk face, total poop head. D tier at best. Number 21, Spiro. Spiro is a line cook at a Greasy Spoon diner, churns out Denver omelets all day long. And I love Denver omelets. A tier. Number 22, Firo. Firo is Laura Dern in Jurassic Park. Just a fierce warrior woman, very tall, stands up to velociraptors. I love Laura Dern. S tier. 23, Ekans. Ekans is pretty cool. He plays in one of those mariachi bands that just sort of shows up on the subway. Like if you've ever been on the subway in New York City, sometimes it's like a mariachi band will just like come through the car and play super loudly. People hate that. I always thought that was really fucking great. So S tier for Ekans. Number 24, Arbok. I think that Arbok works at a gardening store, can recommend you the best tulip. Really just knows a lot about a niche topic. A B tier. Always useful to have a good gardening store encounter. Number 25, Pikachu. Pikachu gives campus tours. Really good at walking backwards and talking at the same time. Always found those people a little annoying though, so sorry Pikachu. C tier. At best. Putting you a little higher on C because, you know, you're Pikachu and you're cute. Number 26, Raichu. Raichu, also a lesbian. I think Raichu probably runs the bar at the local lesbian bar and just like gives her favorite customers free Jello shots. Love a Raichu. S tier. Number 27, Sandshrew. Sandshrew is your little brother who like always follows you around and thinks that you're cool. Doesn't really know like what to do with themselves. They just kind of like do what you do, which is cute and also kind of sad. So let's say B tier for Sandshrew, little bro. Number 28, Sandslash. Sandslash is when your little brother grows up, joins a band, gets really good at a sport, and then can like beat you up. And that's like cool because you're happy for him, but also scary because he's become angry. I'm going to put that in the C tier. Number 29, Nidoran, the female version of Nidoran. Nidoran is really into organic Greek yogurt. That's about all I can say about Nidoran. D. 30, Nidorina. Nidorina is a mean girl. Just will shit all over your fashion choices in like a really passive aggressive way. Just really a sad person. D. Maybe E, honestly. Yeah, E tier. 31, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is like a female professional wrestler. Will just like fuck up. I don't know who the wrestlers are now. The Rock. He's not a wrestler anymore. Doesn't matter. Nidoqueen will come to The Rock's house. Fuck him up. A tier. 32, Nidoran, the male version of Nidoran. Nidoran has a lot of t-shirts, graphic tees with wolves on them, and thinks that they're really cool. But they're not that cool, because he doesn't wear them ironically. But I think they're cool. Anyway. So, for that, C tier. 33, Nidorino. Nidorino, runs a newsstand and primarily sells cigarettes, but occasionally will sell like a copy of the Times to whoever's walking by. A chill neighborhood dude. Let's give him a B. 34, Nidoking. Nidoking's just like a total solid bro. Will just like teach you how to do an ollie in the parking lot because you happen to be walking by. Let's give him an A. Clefairy, number 35. Clefairy writes all of her papers at the last possible minute. Always has like dark circles under her eyes. Still manages to be chipper highly relatable figure. A for Clefairy. 36, Clefable. Clefable is your friend's mom who like always has at least 9 different kinds of beverages in her fridge. Just like a top tier friend mom. A for sure. 37, Vulpix. Vulpix is the girl in every musical who like sings a sad song because she can't get the main man character to love her because he's off with like some bitch who just sucks. So I always feel bad for Vulpix. And for that, a B. Number 38, Ninetales. Ninetales is like a super sophisticated French actress who has starred in a bunch of films by like really well-known French directors and is constantly at the Cannes Film Festival. Has aged incredibly gracefully and is the envy of women everywhere. S tier. Fucking love Ninetales. Number 39, Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. Hello, you're looking jiggly buff today. Jigglypuff is just a beautiful boy. You could just fall into his eyes. You know, he's on the cover of teen magazines. The girls go crazy for him. More wholesome version of Justin Bieber, I guess. I don't know. Justin Bieber's probably not even a thing anymore. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm old. I guess a B tier. 40, Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is Zac Efron in his recent film and media appearances. You know, he's like aged a bit, but he's gotten like more like Mountain Man, and some people hate that and make him feel really bad, and that's stupid and bad. Don't be a jerk to Zac Efron. B tier. 41, Zubat. Zubat is a tap dancer who just constantly wears their tap shoes around and just will like do tap dances in random places, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do, like, what are you doing? Like, that's not, nobody wants that. But like, I guess it's cool, you can tap dance. D tier. 42, Golbat. Golbat is, like, I guess it's kind of obvious, but is like a goth, like really cool tattoos and black hair, and will just like say some dark shit, but like is really actually very nice. Golbat is a B tier. Number 43, Oddish. This might like not be exactly what I'm supposed to be doing for the theme of this video, but there's this like radio personality on public radio, NPR, called Audie Cornish, and she's cool. Every time that I hear her name, I just think of Oddish, and I imagine that she is Oddish, and it's just like on the radio and like interviewing cool people, and I like that, you know? Like, I like Oddish on the radio, so S tier. Number 44, Gloom. Oh, Gloom. I love you, Gloom. You're just a sleepy little boy, aren't you? You had a hard day, and you just need a nap. You ever just like have a friend or like somebody that you just love who's just tired, and you're like, oh, I just want to tuck you in. Like, that's Gloom. I love Gloom. S tier. 45, Vileplume. Vileplume is up to no good. Has stopwatches in the inside of his trench coat, gonna sell them to you in an alley. Just like stay away from Vileplume. D tier. 46, Paris. Paris is super into Paul Simon and knows how to play all of his songs on guitar and can like sing them perfectly, which is cool. That takes a lot of effort, Paris. A tier. 47, Parasect. Parasect required a lot of substances to stay up all night to complete their PhD qualifying exams and is really tired, but also like super awake and has read at least 5 books in 24 hours. Respectable. A tier. 48, Venonat. Venonat is a toddler who knows how to sing that song from Cats that's like, you know, Memory. That's what it's called. And it's cute for the first 2 times, and then after that it's very annoying. C tier. 49, Venomoth. Venomoth only knows how to make spaghetti. Needs to learn more. Pick up a cookbook. E tier. 50, Diglett. Diglett is a very enthusiastic employee of Arby's. Will like always make sure that he asks if you want horsey sauce, which I always do. So it's gonna be an S tier for me. 51, Doug Trio is when Diglett opens his own Arby's franchise. And I just love that for him. S tier. 52, Meowth. Okay, so this is also kind of cheating and not really what I'm supposed to be doing for the theme of this video, but Meowth, I know, is voiced by a trans woman, and that just makes me really happy. To me, Meowth is like the only trans representation I really need on TV, so that's gonna be S tier for me, no question. 53, Persian. Persian is Jafar from Aladdin. Jafar is pretty cool. There's also a Clickhole article that I love from a few years ago called "We regret to inform you that it is Jafar," that just makes me lose it every time I read it. So for that reason, I love Persian. A. 54, Psyduck. Oh god, I love Psyduck. Like, I have to admit that I have a strong inclination toward like the derpy the derpy Pokemon, that's going to color my assessments. However, Psyduck is really kind of like an anxious, neurotic mess. Really worried all the time about whether they left the stove on. At the same time, is ready to help you with your wardrobe, which is great. A tier. 55, Golduck. Golduck is a tween with frosted tips who thinks he's cool and is going to beat you up. Fuck that shit. E tier. 56, Mankey. For some reason, when I look at Mankey, I just think that, like, he has a lot of Gundam models and brings them to work and puts them on his desk. Which I guess, I respect that. More power to you. I give Mankey a B. 57, Primeape. Primeape is Mankey's boss. And you think that he's going to come down on Mankey for bringing his models into work, but turns out that he also has models. Not just Gundam models, but also like Star Trek models. So then they're buds. And they have this relationship that then HR starts to worry about. B tier. Number 58, Growlithe. Growlithe is another haughty motherfucker. I just do not care for Growlithe. I think Growlithe probably has a lot of money and is not aware that they have a lot of money and will be like kind of snooty about clothes and the food and imply that people who don't have those things or don't have taste are just bad because they can't afford them. Screw Growlithe. D tier. No. E tier. 59. Arcanine. Arcanine works at LL Bean and will be able to sell you a really good BPA-free water bottle. A useful person to have in your life. B tier. 60. Poliwag. Poliwag is a Boy Scout who has like the exact right amount of badges. Not too little that he's undercommitted, but not so many that he's like gonna become an Eagle Scout and like turn into like one of those people who thinks that boys don't know how to be men these days or whatever. Just like a good boy. A good boy. A tier. 61. Poliwhirl. Sorry to say, Poliwhirl is also a lesbian. I think that probably like a hiking lesbian is constantly asking you if you want to go hike part of the Appalachian Trail. Fun type of lesbian to have in your life. A tier. 62. Poliwrath. Poliwrath is like Macklemore. Just like a really cringy white guy rapper. Nah. F tier. F tier. Way down low. 62. Abra. Abra is the kid in preschool who stays up during nap time to do puzzles. Highly relatable figure. Love me some Abra. A tier for me. 64. Kadabra. Kadabra is a French chef, but not like the snobby kind. Like he just really wants you to try his, croque madame. B tier. 65. Alakazam. Alakazam is a continental French philosopher who has a really messy study and says inscrutable things about fundamental ontology, which is cool, but also like really annoying. So C tier. 66. Machop. Machop is Megan Rapinoe, soccer lesbian. Just like rules, that's going to be an S tier for me. 67. Machoke. Machoke is Arnold Schwarzenegger, but after he was governor and then came back to doing action films, which I love. That's going to be S tier for me. 68. Machamp is like a character from Friday Night Lights, like a football player who's like really macho, but then like he has like a really soft side and like maybe he's actually like secretly gay or something. Just like, a good footballer. I don't know if that's what you call him. B tier. 69. Bellsprout. Bellsprout works in a sex shop and can sell you a really good vibrator. It's not just because their number is 69. That's just how I feel. Love that for her. A tier. Okay, number 70 is Weepinbell. Weepinbell has a very, very large collection of bongs. That's pretty okay. B tier. Number 71, Victory Bell. Victory Bell will move your furniture for like a really reasonable rate. Love that. Love that. A tier. 72, Tentacool. Tentacool is like the best player in the chess club and is kind of a jerk about it. And everybody's really intimidated by him. But then he gets beat by a girl and he hates it. D tier. 73, Tentacruel. Tentacruel is like one of those like hardcore like body mod people who like gets their ears clipped to like look like elf ears and like dyes their eyeballs and stuff. That rules. S tier. 74, Geodude. Geodude is like in martial arts movies when like the bad guy comes to like kill the family or whatever, and then there's a little kid in the family, and like his dad or his mom have like taught him how to do some martial arts, but he's still like 4. He's like bravely like, oh, like he goes into a martial arts pose to like protect his family, and then like the villain's like, ha 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 ha, you little kid, or whatever, which is always sad. That's such a sad scene, but like I respect the little guy for trying, so B tier. 75, Graveler. Graveler is an aficionado of craft beers, and like not the kind that's annoying though, like we'll like share, give you tips on like what to seek out and like what the local breweries are. Yeah, like kind of a cool dude, I would say. Like it's good to have a dude like that in your life. B tier. 76, Gollum. Gollum is a college professor who is really into like activities and like doing like non-testy sort of stuff, getting the students to like walk around the room and like interact with each other, which I guess there's a place for that, right? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I always hated that in college. C tier. 77, Ponyta. Ponyta gets a lot of free stuff from like makeup brands, and you know, she's an influencer, but like is always very clear to tell you that like her free stuff does not color her reviews. Who knows if that's true or not, but I choose to believe her because she turned me on to a really good liquid liner, so that's going to be a B tier for me. 78, Rapidash. Rapidash is the kid who like is inexplicably really into climbing trees and like does it all the time because he thinks it's cool and it's going to impress people, but then like he's just up a tree and everybody else is walking away. D tier. 79, Slowpoke. I love Slowpoke. Slowpoke he's like my favorite guy. I think that he is basically like a big old union organizer who will like give you free drinks when you go out to the bar after your union drive or whatever, and just like has read a lot about labor history. S tier, no doubt. 78, Slowbro. Slowbro is kind of confusing to me because he's like the same as Slowpoke, but then he's got this thing on his tail. I'm going to say that Slowbro is like the manifestation of like the Freudian ego id. The clam critter on his tail is the id, and he's the ego. And Freud's a fun guy. Who doesn't like Freud? I mean, a lot of people, but I like him. A tier. 81, Magnemite. Magnemite has an ant farm in his bedroom. He's really excited to tell you about it. B tier. 82, Magneton. Magneton has a bunch of lizards in his bedroom and is really excited to show you about it. Cooler than ants. A tier. 83, Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd is a cosplayer who always goes as Gandalf, and he's like not very good at it. C tier. 84, Doduo. Doduo is a sportscaster, is that what you call him? And like goes on tangents that have nothing to do with the game so that it's fun for people to watch even if they don't like sports. B tier. 85, Dodrio. Dodrio is a Karen. Dodrio like yells at you for walking your dog through the part of their lawn that's like by the sidewalk. Fuck Dodrio. F tier. 86, Seal. Seal loves Sting and the Police, the band the Police. Still will go to Sting concerts and maybe have some extra tickets that they'll give you. Cool bud to have. A tier. 87, Dugong. Is that how you say it? Dugong. Dugong has gone on a few acid or shroom trips and will not shut up about how it has completely changed their perspective on themselves and like how it was like this ego-shattering experience. C tier. 88, Grimer. Grimer's that guy who like just hangs out on his porch all day and like drinks buds and like chain smokes. Honestly, fully in favor of that. That's going to be an A from me. 89, Muck. He like never stops doing Smeagol impressions, and like it used to be funny, but now it's like, I don't know. Like how many times do you need to watch The Lord of the Rings? C tier. No. D. Not a fan. 90, Shelder. Shelder is constantly playing peekaboo with himself, and I always respect people who can like amuse and laugh at themselves, so that's gonna be an A. 91, Cloister. Cloister, for like probably obvious reasons, is like a feminist art historian who has written 3 books about Georgia O'Keeffe. A. 92, Ghastly. Ghastly has a lot of baseball cards that he's been collecting for his entire life and is extremely reluctant to sell them on eBay even after he has a child and he needs to buy a crib. Not cool, dude. D tier. Haunter is a DJ, like one of those cool like YouTube channels that just picks out random records from like record stores that have been forgotten and like is really into vaporwave or whatever. I don't know, I'm kind of a sucker for that. So I'm going to say A for Haunter. Thank you for exposing me to the musical Arcane. 94, Gengar. Gengar makes his own bacon. C tier. 95, Onyx. Onyx is a draft that comes way too close to the safari vehicle and then all the children scream. And I like that. So I'm going to give it an A. 96, Drowsy gets like way too high and then laughs at the stupid movie that you're watching together way too hard. I don't know. That's just kind of annoying. So I'm going to give that a D. 97, Hypno. Hypno is David Blaine. I recently read a bit of an interview with Werner Herzog where he says David Blaine is not to be trusted, and I could not possibly agree more with that statement. So Hypno's going to be just like a strong F tier for me. 98, Krabby. Krabby will follow you around the shoe store and try to get you to use that little foot thing to like measure your foot, even though you don't need to do that because you know what your size is. D. 99, Kingler. Kingler is the host of a local conservative talk radio show. E. 100, Voltorb is a sushi chef who is reluctant to take on new apprentices. Very stern guy, however makes incredible sushi. B. 101, Electrode. Electrode is a giant fan of like 1950s and 1960s television and has like one of the biggest collections of I Love Lucy paraphernalia in the country. Probably is in the Guinness Book of World Records. More power to him. B tier. 102, Execute. Execute runs a golf pro shop and will like always try to sell you the most expensive kind of club and ball. I don't know much about it, but I think that's bullshit. So Execute's gonna get a D from me. 103, Executor. Executor is that guy who like always brings a guitar to the party. Nobody likes that guy. D tier. 104, Cubone. Cubone has studied the blade. F tier. 105, Marowak. Marowak, I think, is one of the hosts of like one of those lifestyle TV shows where she comes into your house and like helps you organize stuff. It's like very addicting to watch, but also like after a while you just feel bad about yourself because, you know, you have socks and spoons in the same drawer. So I don't know, probably a C. 106, Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is a documentary aficionado and can always recommend you a good documentary about any topic. Once again, a wonderful person to have in your life. I would give that an A. 107, Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan wears Crocs out of the house. Enough said. E tier. 108, Lickitung. Personally, this is just me, I love Lickitung. However, I think he's like one of those friends who's like a jokester and like you used to think he was funny, but then he like always takes it way too far. So he's just like rolling around on the floor in the middle of a Walmart pretending to be a worm. I don't know. That's not my thing. I'm going to give that a D. 109, Coughing. Coughing, I love Coughing. One of my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. Coughing is like the stranger in a bar who will buy you and your friends a round of drinks, but like not in a creepy way, and then just like wants to hang out a little bit and talk to you. And then maybe you see him again a week later and you're like, hey, what's up, Coughing? And he's just like a cool bar friend, you know? Love that. S tier. 110, Wheezing. Wheezing is also the guy in the bar. However, he's like the old dude who wears sunglasses inside and will like challenge you to like a pool match and then kick your ass and make you buy him drinks every time that he beats you. I kind of respect the hustle. A tier. 111, Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn repairs vintage cars but then puts like really loud engines in them constantly. You hear him like roaring down the street in, I don't know, like a pickup truck from the 1930s or something. That's probably not a thing. I don't know my automotive history very well. In any event, he's annoying and he sucks. So E tier. 112, Rhydon. Rhydon is a very enthusiastic member of the community theater troupe, simultaneously the best actor and the worst actor. A tier. 113, Chansey. Chansey is terrifying. She is the woman from Misery. She will lock you in her cabin. F tier. 114, Tangela. Tangela is that kid in bio class who like is actually really into dissecting the fetal pig, which I guess I respect for them, but also I think is so gross and I just don't get it. So like we have nothing in common. So I don't know, C tier. 115, Kangaskhan. So like I recognize that Kangaskhan has a pouch and so it's like probably a mom. However, I've always thought of Kangaskhan as kind of like a really strong father figure who just like takes a wayward boy under his wings and, teaches him how to play the flute and, run in marathons at the same time. And then there's like a really heartwarming scene at the end where he wins the race while playing Beethoven on the flute. A tier. 116, Horsey. Horsey has an extensive collection of Italian leather shoes. Frivolous, yet tasteful. B tier. 117, Cedra. Could just be the puckered lips, but I think that Cedra is just like a real good smoocher. If you just need somebody to kiss for a little while, Cedra's your girl, for sure. 118, Goldine. Ooh, Goldine. I think Goldine is like the sickly goldfish that you get as a prize at a carnival, and they like, in a little Ziploc bag, and it like dies within 2 or 3 days. Just not worth the pain. E tier. 119 is Sea King. Sea King is the other kind of goldfish that you get in a Ziploc at the carnival, who is like a goddamn sociopath and will just murder the other goldfish before it has a chance to die from its carnival illness. That's even worse. F tier. 120, Star You. Star You will make you scrambled eggs after you stay the night at their place. A tier. 121, Star Me. Star Me is a fuckboy. He won't text you back. He'll string you along. F tier. 120, Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is the kid in high school who is really into magic and puppetry and like all this nerdy like PBS shit that people used to make fun of him for, but then like after he graduates, he gets an incredibly lucrative career touring the country doing, nerdy PBS shit. Love that for him. S tier. 123, Scyther. Scyther is one of those like super ripped dudes who is in Cirque du Soleil and just like flies around the air 50 feet above the ground, and it's frightening and arousing to watch at the same time. A tier. 124, Jinx. Jinx is extremely problematic. That's really all I can think about when I see Jinx, so sorry Jinx, that's going to be an F tier. 125, Electabuzz. Electabuzz learned how to play the guitar at a young age, and his parents only wanted him to know classical guitar, but then he learned what rock was, and then Jack Black from School of Rock taught him how to play in the rock band, and now he is in a Led Zeppelin cover band. Good for him. A tier. 126, Magmar. This is not a particularly creative interpretation, but Magmar is like the Heatmeister from that one Christmas movie, that claymation Christmas movie. I don't remember which one it was. I love Heatmeister. S tier. 127, Pinsir. Pinsir is a crust punk. He hangs out on the street corner with his girlfriend and their dog, and they're like pretty chill dudes. B tier. 128, Tauros. Tauros has owned and operated a used car dealership for 30 years. Just a respected local businessman. B tier. 129, Magikarp. Magikarp is Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries before she gets her makeover. And honestly, I always liked that Anne Hathaway better, so I'm gonna give that an A. 130, Gyarados. Gyarados is obsessed with Dragon Ball Z and just constantly draws Gokus on his book covers. Sometimes like spikes his hair like he's Goku. I guess that's fine. B tier. 131, Lapras. Lapras has a really nice butt and knows it and is just like constantly like low-key showing it off. I don't like that. I'm gonna give that a D. 132, Ditto. I love Ditto. Who doesn't love Ditto? It's just like that guy who loves hugging. He'll just hug everybody. It doesn't matter. Like when you meet him, he doesn't shake your hand, he gives you a hug. When you say goodbye, he gives you a hug. I love that. I love hugs. A tier. 133, Eevee. Eevee has extensively studied the French Revolution. A tier. 134, Vaporeon. Vaporeon? I think it's Vaporeon. Vaporeon is someone who only sings like Disney villain songs at karaoke. I like that. A tier. 139, Jolteon. Jolteon was an Olympic hopeful who unfortunately was unable to attend because of the coronavirus, and I just feel so bad for that. So that's gonna be kind of like a sympathy A. 136, Flareon. Flareon is an audiophile, kind of like John Cusack from High Fidelity, who will just like collect all these weird little vinyls that nobody else knows about, but at the same time, kind of snotty, also kind of a misogynist. I'm gonna give that a C tier. 137, Porygon is the guy who runs the Low Poly Animal Twitter account, which makes me laugh every single day. S tier. 138, Omanite. Omanite knows how to make the best possible oatmeal. Uses like really good steel cut oats. A curated selection of dried fruits and nuts. Local honey from bees that he himself is friends with. S tier. 139. Omastar. Omastar will always scare you when you have the hiccups. A true bro. A tier. 140. Kabuto. Kabuto is a crypto bro. Absolutely not. F tier. 141. Kabutops. Kabutops is an avid defender of the Star Wars prequels and used to be kind of an annoying contrarian, but then suddenly started to agree with them. B. 142. Aerodactyl. I don't know why, I'm just confident that he could recommend a really good local fondue joint. C tier. 143. Snorlax. Snorlax is an anti-work Marxist who knows a lot about feudal history prior to the Industrial Revolution. Really interesting guy. A. 144. Articuno, right? Artichoke? Articuno is a really big fan of like classy car racing and will constantly watch that scene from Iron Man 2 where Robert Downey Jr. drives the car really fast and then it gets blown up by the bad guy. D tier. 145. Zapdos. Zapdos still thinks that SNL is funny. D tier. 146. Moltres, won't shut up about cancel culture. Nah. F tier. 147. Dratini. Dratini is really into wine. He's a wino. We'll talk extensively about the bouquet of whatever it is that you're drinking, even if you bought it from Trader Joe's. I honestly don't find winos as annoying as a lot of people do, so I'm gonna give him a B. 148. Dragonair. Dragonair just like hits the club, tears up the dance floor, knows the DJ, has a good rapport with the bartender. Big old party boy. That's gonna be a B tier for me. 159. Dragonite. Dragonite is the guy who played Barney and now runs like a tantric sex consultant business, which I think is fucking awesome. So that's going to be an S tier. 150. Mewtwo. Mewtwo is Elon Musk. People think he's cool, but fuck that. He's an asshole. No thank you. That's going to be F. Last but not least, we have 151. Mew. Mew is your friend's new little infant who he constantly wants you to like come and see and hold because he's really proud of him. Good for the new parent, but I'm not a baby person. That's gonna be a D.